What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is season number 5, episode number 13, and the episode was titled Rooms for Improvement. I believe that's the title of the episode, you guys. If that ain't right, then I'll correct it later. But before we do get into the review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then have me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, you guys, shall we? All right, you guys, so this was a pretty decent episode. There were points in this episode where I couldn't do nothing but freaking laugh at the stuff that was happening on my television screen. But I guess you guys know that this episode is going to consist of the ladies going on the final cast trip of the season. You guys know that they filmed the reunion. Andy talked about how good the reunion was. He says it was so funny because he was like, he knows he overhypes things sometimes, but he said, but this reunion has been as good as the season has been. He says that he would rate this season a 10 out of a 10. And so, yeah, I'm ready for the reunion. I think we have 3 more episodes left of Salt Lake City and then the reunion. I think it's a 3-part reunion. Hey, Penelope, you say you're wrapping presents. Ooh, that is something I have never done. If I buy a present for somebody, I get a gift bag and I put my stuff in the gift bag for them, and that's all that they get from me. But yeah, you guys, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but Andy was talking about the reunion and how good the reunion was, and I'm sure that the reunion was good. Now, another reunion that he's filming today is the Real Housewives of New York City. Um, I'm not expecting anything from the New York City girls because this season ain't gave a lick of nothing, and you guys know that I've dropped that show. Um, I have been watching the episodes, but I've been watching the episodes like a day or two later because I again ain't nothing on that show. But yeah, if you guys watch this week's episode, please drop down in the comment section and let me know what you thought about it. And we will go ahead and just start up with this review for Salt Lake City. Now, where did the episode? Let me get to my notes real quick and then we will get started. So, we'll start up with Meredith. My God, I didn't realize that that whole entire family was I knew that Brooks was monotone. I knew Brooks was monotone. I don't know if I realized that her daughter was just as monotone. She's not as bad as Brooks and Meredith, but they were all monotone. So Meredith is having them sniff some of the scents for her bath bombs. And Seth looked at her like, girl, what the hell are you talking about these bath bombs for? Let's talk about that ish that happened at your party. So at your bat mitzvah. And so Meredith is telling, well, Brooks came to me and told me that Brittany was crying. And so, yes, Brittany was crying. We're going to talk about that in a little bit once we get to um, Puerto Vallarta. So Meredith is just like, she's Angie has slut shamed me. And Angie did this. It's like, okay, Meredith, you still holding on to stuff from last season when it comes to her. But I thought you and Angie had moved past it with each other, right? So then Meredith's like, and she made fun of my hearing aid, my disability. And so Bruce like, it's not a disability. It's a superpower. I was like, oh my God, can y'all talk with some kind of inflection in your voice? Do something. Give me something. Because y'all putting me to sleep at this point, right? So Meredith is also saying, and Sean was just telling me that I should hear both sides. And I was like, well, Meredith, that is kind of true. I mean, you did just literally go off of what Brittany said. Now, granted, did Angie allude to the woman being slutty? Yes. I mean, if you tell me I'm doing three people, I'm not gonna take kindly to that. Because that's gonna make it seem like I'm banging three people when I may just be banging one person and just dating the other two. So I mean, if I'm gonna give it to Brittany, I'm gonna give it to Angie. I'm gonna whack them both, right? Because I think they both had some issues, and then the fact that Brittany started crying. Speaking of which, did y'all see, so Brittany was on Watch What Happens Live last night with Heather. What I will say, you guys, is I cracked up laughing because there was a video of Brittany backstage and she was singing "Don't Be Tardy" by Kim. Why she sound better than Kim? She sounded 10 times better than Kim ever could sound singing her own song. I was like, that is terrible. So we'll move on from Meredith and move over to Angie. Now, Angie is at home and she's talking to Sean, right? And Angie is pissed off about being kicked out of Meredith's party. Now, what I will say is, I definitely do think that Meredith overreacted with kicking her out of the party. I definitely will say that. But, I mean, girl, it was a religious party, and you sitting here cussing Brittany out, going off on Brittany. So yeah, I probably too would have asked you to leave. What really cracked me up with Angie was the fact that that woman was in her interview fake crying. I said, "Girl, no, you not." She said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Okay, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it, girlfriend." But I mean, let me know what you guys think. Like, how would you guys feel? Would you guys kick her out of your party if one of your party guests is in a corner crying because of a conversation they had with her, and it was a very heated conversation? I really want y'all's honest opinions. Like, I really want y'all to be honest. Tell me, would y'all kick her? Like, what would y'all do? What would y'all do within that particular moment? I want to know. I really would like to know what y'all would do. Um, but yeah, you guys, that's really it for Angie. Let's go ahead and move on to Mary. Where's Mary at? All right, guys. So next up, we got Mary. So Mary, this this is a different environment because the I would have that scene would have went a different way. I don't know if producers planned that scene to go how it went, but for me, it would have went a completely different way. So Mary went over to Angie's home, right? And Mary knocked on Angie's door, but Angie didn't come to the door. So Mary just opened the door. I said, "Girl, never mind. I was about to say something, but I'm gonna keep it to myself." But girl, I don't know if you should have opened that woman's door. I don't know if Salt Lake City is an open carry state, but baby, if you walk into my house like that, you finna be met with some rounds. Just letting that be known. Don't do it to yourself. 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 Um, so Angie came in. She and Mary, they're having a conversation, right? So Mary ended up opening up to Angie, letting Angie know everything that's going on with Robert Jr. about him doing the pharmaceuticals, and how he didn't want to be here, and the only reason why he's here is because of Mary. And I like that Angie was so sitting there just listening to her And Mary was talking about with the cast trip that she will be coming to the trip, but she's gonna come late. And I get it. I absolutely do get it. Like, you're worried about your son, and just make sure that she wants to make sure that he's good before she leaves. And I was here for it, right? I absolutely understood where Mary's coming from, and I get it. It makes sense to me. Now, that's really all we got with that. So the rest of the episode consisted of the cast trip and them going to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, right? Baby, when Bronwyn showed up to that airport and she was covered up, and then she told us about the dog attacking her, and you can see her body was bruised up with bites from that dog. I would have beat the hell out that owner, and I ooh. And see, here's the thing: I love dogs, I really truly do. But that kind of vicious, no, ain't no way, ain't no way. So Bronwyn also showed up bearing gifts to the ladies, so it was something to put their passports in, right? And Lisa wasn't entirely thrilled about that because Lisa had told Bronwyn, Bronwyn had reached out to Lisa, asked Lisa about bringing gifts for the ladies, and Lisa told her no. And I was like, why not? I mean, it's what is it gonna hurt? Maybe this could also be because I just don't see it for Lisa. So, but let me know what you guys think about that. Like, let me know what the guys think. So we see them as they get on the plane. Angie was me. Angie was knocked out on that plane. I was like, exactly. Now I don't know how long that flight is, but Angie was definitely me on that plane, babe. I would have been out like a light. Like you wouldn't hear nothing from me. You wouldn't hear a peep out of me on that plane. So they finally land in Mexico, and they're staying at a villa, nice villa, right? So Lisa tells the girls what the room assignments are, right? And so how it goes is there are two villas, right? And what's gonna happen is she split the girls up. So in one villa, it's going to be Lisa, Meredith, Brittany, and Heather. Because according to Lisa, she's splitting the girls up against who don't get along with each other, right? And so then in the other villa is going to be Whitney, Mary, Bronwyn, and Angie. But again, remember, she's saying that she's splitting the girls up because Angie doesn't see it for Brittany, Meredith doesn't see it for Angie, Whitney doesn't see it for Whitney doesn't see it for Meredith, Heather doesn't see it for Bronwyn, and she doesn't see it, and Lisa herself doesn't see it for Whitney. And I was like, okay, that's okay. But then if you think about it, Whitney, Bronwyn, and Angie ain't really particularly seeing it for each other right now. So what was the purpose in you if you're trying to keep people away from each other who don't really see it for each other right now? You were being messy by putting Bronwyn with Angie and Whitney. And Bronwyn clocking that, right? So they go to the rooms. Whitney, Angie, and Bronwyn are having a conversation with each other, right? And they're talking about it. So then we see as they're getting ready to go out. Now we find out that Bronwyn is still dealing with this stuff with her daughter Gwen, right? And we do see a flashback scene of Lisa, John, and Bronwyn sitting down having a conversation because you guys know that John is adopted, right? So they were having a conversation about that. Now, this is where the episode got hilarious. Was when the ladies went to dinner. Child, when they went actually before they even went to dinner. So Meredith, I think I forgot to mention this in the beginning of the episode that Meredith had gotten a gift from Angie at her party last week, and it was I forgot what it was, but it was some products, some hair care products that uh Meredith can't use. So she put it in a Brooks Marks bag and regifted it back to Angie at the table. So they sit down and Bronwyn immediately brings up the room situation to Lisa. Honestly, Bronwyn, Lisa couldn't be bothered to give a damn. She don't care. I think that, oh, you know what? I just kind of figured it out. Bronwyn girl, she's getting payback for that trip that you guys took earlier this season. That you took your trip, right? When y'all flew back and she flew back in coach. Lisa is being petty and getting back at you. So it's kind of like turnabout. It's fair play, and I guess in her eyes, that's what it's looking like to me. But you guys can tell me what you think in the comment section. And they were really going. They kept going back and forth about this. I was like, wow, this is a lot. It's all because of a room assignment. I feel like what they should have done, and I think Whitney mentioned this, is we've never had assigned rooms. We just really pick our rooms. And I agree with that, right? Like, y'all know how I feel when it comes to housewives and the room assignments. Y'all know how I feel about that. I hate it. It's the worst. Like, I can't stand the room assignments on housewives. Like, you're grown ass women. Y'all know how to make y'all own. Like, y'all know what y'all want to do. Y'all know who y'all want to be around. Y'all know who y'all don't want to be around. Like, ugh. But let me know what you guys think. But yeah, they kept going back and forth. And at one point, Brittany got involved because Bronwyn was talking about the fact that Brittany is in the room with Lisa them, right? And I'm like, no, Brittany, beloved, do you realize that you're just being played as a pawn? Because even Whitney said that in her interview, like, you are being used as a pawn and as a FU to Bronwyn. And I was like, that is exactly what the hell is going on. It's an FU to Bronwyn, right? So then Lisa and Bronwyn were arguing. Actually, this is even before they got to the table. They were arguing before they got to the table, right? Then they get to the table. These ladies are still arguing with each other, right? So Angie sees the bag in her chair and she's like, oh, a gift for me? And so she's all smiles until she opens the bag and realizes it's that gift that she gave to Meredith. So she was like, so you give me my stuff back? And Meredith's like, well, I heard that you wanted it back. She said, did I say that? She said, well, I heard that you wanted it back. So they're going back and forth with each other, right? And I was like, oh my God. And so then Brittany decides to chime in. I was like, Brittany, sit there and eat your food. Well, they didn't have no food. I was like, well, just sit there. And she told us, Brittany, shut the fuck up. This has nothing to do with you. I said, well, damn. And she said, well, it does have everything to do with me because you call me a slut. And I was like, well, indirectly, yes, she kind of did. And so Angie's like, but you call me one. I was like, and she did, but you would have had you would not have known that until you watched the episode if it wasn't for Bronwyn. So Bronwyn, like I said last week, you were being messy then, and you still being messy now, right? So they going back and forth with each other, right? Child, at one point, Angie had this bag. Now she didn't have it, she was holding the bag upside down, and she gave the bag to Brittany, telling Brittany, you need this because your hair is fucking fried. I said, oh my God, not her hair is fried and it looks like shit. I couldn't do nothing but laugh at that stuff, right? So then Brittany and Angie, they arguing back and forth with each other. And then Lisa tried to chime in and said, well, Angie, you did call her a slut. And Angie is pissed off, right? And Angie's mad at going off on Lisa. And so she's like, we can't, I'm speaking in facts. We can't speak in facts. I was like, girl, you looking for a moment, ain't you? You looking for a Mona Lisa, and I see you. So, Bronwyn, again, I have a side eye for you. I like you, but my side eye, it's on you. Because then you're sitting here saying, well, it was actually Brittany who called Angie a slut first. I was like, no, it was actually Angie who indirectly called that girl a slut. She said she was doing three men. When you hear the word doing, what do you think of? You think of the sexuals, right? Now, again, we gonna call out Brittany because Brittany, girl, you are a hypocrite. The fact that you drink and you are dating, you said you were dating 10 men or talking to 10 men, but you were dating three of them, girl, whatever. And then they start talking about the fact that Jared had bought her some crotchless panties. I said, say what now? I I was like, oh my god, these ladies are a mess. These ladies are a hot mess, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I live for these ladies. Like, I couldn't do nothing but laugh at these ladies because it was so freaking hilarious. It was so hilarious to me. So at the end of it, Meredith does end up apologizing to Angie, and that's really where they ended. And so that's it, you guys. Really, with the episode. If there's anything that you guys would like to discuss that I may have missed in the review, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below, you guys. And that is all I got. So I'm gonna hop off of here, and as I get off of here, I'm gonna go ahead and upload for you guys Sold on SLC. If you guys are not watching the show, it's a really good show. It comes on right after Salt Lake City goes off. It's a really good show. Definitely go check it out. And as always, you guys, do me a solid favor. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I will see you guys in the next video. You guys, bye.